The Art of Commerce is a podcast featuring conversations on creativity and conversions. Hosted by Anish, a data-obsessed creative director, and Jinx, a growth-obsessed CMO. Listen on for actionable insights for the modern marketer.
So the Super Bowl just wrapped up. Jinx and I are doing this virtually where we figured out, hey, if something goes down in the world of marketing, such as Super Bowl, which is arguably the biggest events, we gotta hop on and talk about it. And these are field notes. These are straight from our observations. When we just saw the Super Bowl go down, the advertising, the halftime show.
These are field notes. I'm looking at my phone right now. That's how relevant these and recent these notes are. So
yeah, this is fresh.
This is fresh.
It's 9 p.m. Mountain Time, so about half an hour after the game just wrapped up.
11 p.m. Eastern for all those keeping track, and then 8 p.m. West Coast where they played. But first of all, okay, we're gonna get into the commercials. We have to do it. The Super Bowl is the Super Bowl of commercials. That was we just posted that episode, so hopefully you guys found it great. But let's talk about a couple things that were amazing or interesting. So first of all, congratulations to the Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks and all my friends that are Seattle Seahawks fans. And congratulations to the Patriots and my Patriots friends. You know, I don't think you believed you'd even get here after the season you had last year. So the fact that you're here is amazing. It was a snoozer of a game, you know, but then again, my guys won last year and that was a snooze fest except for me. So I'm sure the Seahawks fans had a great time. But the best part about being a snoozer is there's only two things really we want to talk about, which is the ads, and then very quickly the halftime show, because that was pretty awesome. And the thing that I found out just now was, for anyone that watched the halftime show, you know, Bad Bunny was doing it and all that stuff. We're not pundits here. I'll just say objectively a great spectacle, really interesting. Lady Gaga came out, etc. But there was a wedding that happened in the halftime, and my friend, we were like laughing about, was it real or not? He just sent me a link and he was like, this was real. So they actually got married. Those guys actually got married in the halftime show, which I think is I don't know if that's ever happened before, but that's pretty cool.
Oh, I thought it was all a part of the act. So
that's what I said. I said, we're cynical marketers, man. Like why would we ever think that's real? You know, but here you go.
That's
right?
awesome.
But, so anyway, I thought it was really cool. We're not here to talk about that halftime show or any of that punditry. You can find that on a different podcast, but we're here to talk about the ads. So Anish, the question is that we posed to ourselves before was, will there be AI? And the answer is,
so much of it.
So much of it. And
not in the ways that I most expected it to.
Yeah, no. And I want to hear what your thought is. But I'll say there was so much AI. And what we didn't say on the pod the other day was we were thinking about AI generated, which there was definitely. But there was a lot of ads for AI. Whether that be the Oakley glasses, the Meta Oakley glasses, which I know Anish probably already picked up a pair, knowing him. But the Oakley glasses, the OpenAI Codex, OpenAI Codex, and Anthropic. So let's start this. So Anish, where's your head at? What did you think? I'll give my thoughts after that.
I mean, hey, the Super Bowl is special for two reasons. One is you've got two of the finest NFL teams going toe-to-toe. But outside of the game and the commercial breaks, you've got some of the biggest brands going toe-to-toe. And the team this year was the AI. For the past few weeks, there has been this build-up that we've all been reading about. Hey, Sam Altman said, guess about how Anthropic is advertising their services and stuff. So it's been heating up. Weirdly, Jinx, I think we are back in the Mac versus PC era of advertising, spiritually.
Yeah.
Because think of the brand wars that are happening right now in real time.
That.
Like you've got the established player, the Microsoft in this example, or the PC in this example, which is OpenAI. Right? And then you've got the challenger brand, which is Anthropic, which is what Apple did back in the day, who just coming out and they're positioning themselves as, we are not ChatGPT, we are not OpenAI, and that's a strong positioning. So this was a really interesting warfare of just positioning and mind space for me.
Right. So it's I love what you said there. and it's
Mac versus PC again.
It's Mac versus PC. It's not. It wasn't as emotional. I'll just say it wasn't as emotional as I thought it was going to be around that. Like, so yes, Mac versus PC, but the Mac versus PC was I'm cool, you're not, right? Like, and so there's an emotion. It didn't talk about feature. Remember back to what we talked about the other day. It didn't talk about features and stuff. In this, we're explicitly saying I'm cool because I don't have this ads from Anthropic. I'm cool because I have this codex from OpenAI, right? It was way more feature centric, but I'm kind of two minds because I really think the pre-buzz around the Anthropic we don't have ads, excuse me, was really great. Like the earned media alone on this was just great. Like it was in the conversation. Sam Altman gave him more earned media by talking about it. I think I found out first from Sam Altman's post, and then I was like, oh wait, what are these? You know?
That's so weird. Like
right?
keeping the spotlight on that.
But I do think that they missed Claude X or Anthropic missed the mark because they probably should have been talking about Claude code, because everything that I hear is like, again, just to be clear, I use ChatGPT probably more, and this is probably most people, right? They use ChatGPT more because it was the first mover, and now you have their data, like Spotify thing, right? Now they have your data, and you're like, oh, I don't want to move my stuff, whatever. Use both, but probably spend more time in ChatGPT. That said, everyone I talk to is like, you got to check out Claude Code and Claude Cowork. That was what I was thinking, and it was like they're like, if you haven't messed with it, you have to, and like. So the underground swell of this from people that are in the know and I trust and care about and will go and seek advice. That's what they talk about. Not a word on those things from Anthropic, which kind of a miss. Maybe if they did the Cowork thing, brought it to life emotionally, like how this is literally your sidekick, your new best employee. Maybe there's something there. But anyway, very.
No, but that's interesting, look. I mean, but. When you take a step back and look at it from both the sides, like sounds like what you're saying is Claude is running on the more geek user base or this power AI user base because of Claude Code, right?
And Cowork.
But when they're advertising to the consumer AI users, which would have been your ChatGPT or Mega AI users, they're winning on that front with their advertising as well. So sounds like Claude is winning on all fronts.
Well, no, my point being is they really leaned into what they don't have, which is ads, and by the way, they made a statement that we'll never have ads, which by the way, they probably will at some point. And then we'll all laugh about the fact that they said they didn't. But when they could have, I think, gone heavier into their innovation. That's my point. I think they could have gone heavier into their innovation. Right. And yeah, I mean, like, look, they're all spending a bunch of money. They're all getting a bunch of users. Time will tell who's the quote winner or whatever. But this is like picking the nits, but I would say that OpenAI went out with their innovation. Now, they weren't as emotional, but they went out with their innovation with the codex. Anthropic really didn't do that. They just said, what we don't have, we won't have ads, which...
Well, you share a very fair observation there. I mean? Could it be tiring to strategy, Jinx? Because, I mean, when you think about the same divisions that I spoke about before, right? First, there's the consumer chatbot AI users or that space with ChatGPT has been winning it. They are being the pioneers. They made AI accessible for everyone, right? And then there's like power user, Claude Core or CoreX, people who are building stuff for not your ChatGPT or consumer AI users, so to say, right? Could it be that ChatGPT owns that space and maybe that's why they decided to speak more to the power users with their CoreX? And Anthropic is trying to solve the other way, where they have one with the AI power user group with their Claude Core, which is already organically making a lot of noise.
Right.
And they need to capture where the biggest piece of the action is right now, which is these consumer-facing chatbot, the Gemini, the ChatGPT space, where which Claude has always been kind of a niche bot.
Yeah, I mean, my point though is like. Okay,
maybe it's a conscious call to not go after that.
Like, if your strategy is that, great. Do you focus on the fact that you just released something that is somebody's sidekick for their life, Cowork?
Correct.
Or do you talk about the fact that we will never have ads on? By the way, None of these guys yet have released a single ad. So like, what do we talk like? And it's like, look, I know that ad was great. It was really funny. Can I get a 6-pack now? Is the one that was really funny for me.
Yeah,
and the guy's
so
like, well, he talks about sneakers or whatever it was. But like, I'm not saying it was bad. Like I'm not saying it was not a funny ad. I'm not saying it wasn't well done. I'm not saying the brief there. I'm just saying, I think, quite frankly, they released stuff so quickly and they had to make that spot that they were like, we're going to lean into this. We might not know if Cowork will be ready. Might not know if whatever. That might be the answer. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see more noise around Cowork, coming up, because that's really the piece. But anyway, all that to be said is, because we're going to do this quickly, is a lot of AI, a lot of advertising AI. And I will say, though, I did see some spots using AI.
Yeah, which ones come to mind?
And the one that does, because I did not like it, was the Svedka vodka ad.
Oh my God.
That was so bad. I was just like, what? Why? Like, it was like, tell me you're using AI without telling me you're using AI. And that was
the most ridiculous. Like, it was sloppy. It was off brand. It was weird. It was weird. So bad.
It was weird. It was
on top of it, Jinx, I think I've seen articles like press around the fact that they're the first ones to officially do a Super Bowl AI produced commercial.
Yeah.
Like, they're actually bragging about it, and I just feel like it's such poor demonstration of taste.
No, yeah. You always say taste, tools, and timing. Like, the taste was bad on that one, dude.
This is just like someone saying, hey, we wanted to do a Super Bowl ad with AI, we get it, done.
It was bad. The ad that I thought was AI, but it might not have been, was the He Gets Us ad, which had a nice little message at the end. It's the Christian nonprofit, I don't know too much about the organization, but the message was okay. But it was a lot of scenes of things, and it reminded me kind of the Kalshi ad, but like the nice version, because it was like, you know what I mean. So anyway. But Anish, you got to check that out and then take another look and see if it's AI, because it might have not been. But I was just like, if they didn't produce this in AI, they probably should have. But
yeah, I need to look it up. I mean, I'll be honest, Jinx. Okay, but disclosure for our listeners, and you probably have picked up on this. I'm not a sports guy, but I still watch the Super Bowl every year since I moved to America. Okay, and I watch it for two reasons. One is the commercials, and the second is the halftime show. All right, and I'll be honest, even today when I was watching the Super Bowl, I was working on the side. So every time the game came back on, I started working on this. I'm going to blow your mind, Jinx, after we finish recording this, on some sick stuff that we've been doing for the Art of Commerce. But the point being, I was watching the Super Bowl in a second screen environment, which means I'm doing something and the Super Bowl is my second screen, right? So I started observing subconsciously what are some ads that naturally make me want to pay attention to that screen.
Right.
Okay? Right. What is commanding my attention? One common theme that I found in a lot of these ads that I just started looking at was they used classic popular songs.
I was going where you're going, but keep going. Keep it.
Yeah, so be it Pepsi's I Wanna Break Free ad, be it Backstreet Boys
two Backstreet Boys, which we'll get into in a minute, but two of them.
Yep. Be it Living on a Prayer by State Farm in the first commercial break right after the game started. So opened it with that Stop Living on a Prayer message with that song playing. Usher's Coinbase did a kick-ass ad, which we'll talk about. Bud Light, which I Will Always Love You.
There you go. Yeah.
Gary Underwood, I Am the Champion. Enya, Only Time for Prostate Cancer Awareness. So much popular music just coming back. And that makes me, think, if you're investing money on a Super Bowl ad, you also want to stand out within the noise of your other Super Bowl commercials, and one short way to do that.
You forgot one. Andy Samberg did the Hellman's ad, and he took Sweet Caroline and made it Sweet Sandwich Time. That was, you're right, because that wasn't technically, but it was, but I thought that was.
It's monkey brain, right? The second you listen to a familiar tune, you look up and you're like, oh, what's happening now? Oh, okay, I know the song. Maybe I might like the message too,
Yeah.
So did any of these songs stand out to you? What's your take on that?
The thing for me was, and we will get into it, but it's going to be for me. The Timo, the Backstreet Boys song was funny. You know, it was a good throwback to your point. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, we're there. We're gonna look at it." But the thing that really was great was the Coinbase ad where they did was it Backstreet's Back? That's what they did.
Yep. They did everybody.
Everybody. I call it Backstreet Boys. You're right. Everybody. That's what it's called. But the best was they did a karaoke style. So in the beginning, everyone's like, just like the QR code. Everyone's like, "The hell's going on?" And then all of a sudden, everyone's like singing to the thing, and then there's the quick. I was like, "Oh man, that's just like they actually made it engaging, like in the moment. Like people were like, I'm at a party, and the people are singing. Like it's great. It was awesome. Like that's what you want." So
weirdly enough, Jinx, they built up anticipation. I was thinking, who the hell has paid a lot of money for me to watch this? I want to see who the advertiser is.
You knew it was Coinbase. Come on, you knew it was there.
Honestly, I had no idea that it would be them. But when I saw the logo, I was like, of course it's you guys. You're like, oh yeah, of course it's you. So there was no doubt in my head once I saw it.
No, right.
But that is just what's something we always keep on saying, Jinx, on this podcast. We say, make them feel something.
Yeah.
Coinbase honestly just gave me 30 seconds of chill times. No selling to me. No trying to see what the story is.
That's what you thought? Oh, that's funny.
Just nice vibes, retro music's playing. Good old nostalgia.
I thought, because you were by yourself though, right? So it's a different. Right.
Yeah.
So like, there you go. But I would say this ad in a setting of people of a certain age made them not just feel something, but do something, which was everyone looked at that screen, started singing along. It was really funny. I just thought it was really funny. I thought it was great. But you make a great point because we're talking about music and we're talking about vibes, which we love that word on the show because sometimes marketing is vibes.
In that context.
It's measurement, it's analytics. It's
vibe coding, maybe vibes, SEO, maybe not.
So then I was laughing because I was thinking about that and the Poppy ad with Charlie XCX where she's the professor. She's right. You bring it up, you can see it. She's the professor, and basically the woman drinks Poppy, which is the soda, the natural soda. Professor turns around, pulls off the costume. It's Charlie XCX. And he's like, vibes, almost like the brat thing or whatever. Vibes, and then like some Rachel Sennett or if that's anybody else, the actress comes in. Whatever, but they're the vibes, and then it's like a whole thing. So I just thought that was really funny. Wasn't my favorite ad, but it was pretty good, and I liked it. And then the vibes thing just cracked me up. So that was another one.
Cool.
On the
that's
music
another common thing, though. Right? Along with music, you also see a lot of celebrities. So you just mentioned about Charlie XCX. You remember that ad which went on right before the Coinbase ad? It was Goodwill Dunkin'.
Oh, yes,
Dunkin'
that's the one. Yes.
So many just 90s or 2000 sitcom stars. I remember Joey Tribbiani. I remember Jennifer Aniston. Rachel from Friends.
Aniston. Yeah.
Who else?
Matt LeBlanc. So if I'm just going off memory, it was Ben Affleck. Obviously, he was the guy. Then it was Jason Alexander who played George on Seinfeld. Then it was Matt LeBlanc who played Joey on Friends. Then it was somebody I'm probably forgetting. But then Ted Danson comes in. Huh? What's it?
Yep.
Ted Danson comes in from Cheers.
Yeah.
Jennifer and Tom Brady was there at the end. If you noticed that he was there. But yeah, I'm missing. There's one other guy I think I'm missing, but I forget. But whatever. You watch it.
No, the way they shot it, the treatment, the lighting, it was just straight out of retro TV.
It felt like a fever dream. And it was funny because, like you said, then Coinbase. And so it was really like late 90s, early 2000s nostalgia that came across both. That's a good point. So we also have ones that we've kind of talked about it on the show. So I want to make sure on the pod. So I want to make sure we give them some love. So one, Liquid Death energy drink makes your mind explode. Awesome. By the way, it started out with the doctor guy, and I was like, "What is this?" And then it went there, so I was like, "I really thought that was great." And then,
by the way, I thought that Liquid Death commercial may have been made on AI.
That's a great point. I think you're right.
It could have been, but I don't know if they did.
Right. It was like that other thing I said. I didn't know if it was made by AI, but it should have been, right? Like you said. And then the other thing, which is not exactly what we covered necessarily, but it's tangential, I'd say, is if you looked at the Levi's ad, they had there were a lot of pictures of jeans, and it made me think. I was like, man, this is what the Sydney Sweeney campaign really should have been.
That's true. That's true. And it had a great soundtrack. I think it was I'm Back, Greg, Eric, and just all in all, a great sport.
Yeah. No, I think that was great. All right, what else do we got here? So,
I got one thing, Jinx. It's a hot one. Do you think Pepsi crossed an uncrossable line by using the polar bear in their ad?
Dude. No. I don't think that line was uncrossable. I think it was great. I think and then the director who I love, this guy, I'm writing. I wrote his name because I never pronounce it right, but I think it's Taika Waititi. I think
he did that commercial.
But he did that commercial. He was I think he was the like psychiatrist at the end with the bear. But I love his stuff. I mean, I love like Jojo Rabbit. He did that movie. He did the horror movie, whatever. I think he's so hilarious. Flight of the Conchords. I think he's hilarious.
Whoa, and I not know that.
And check him out. I love that guy. So when I saw him, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I was like, yes, he actually did that. The other one that on that line of celebrity and people I really like and getting it was the Instacart one with Ben Stiller and Benson Boone. They were dancing around. They had all this fruit. It was like kind of a throw. Like Ben Stiller kind of looked like it was like sort of a little bit of Zoolander vibe, but also he looked like the Dodgeball character. If you ever saw the movie Dodgeball, where he had the hair. See, Anish, man, I gotta get Anish on this pop culture train over here.
It's interesting, though, right? Because what may stand out to you, may not necessarily stand out to me.
What he's saying is I'm old. Okay, what he's saying, what Anish is saying is I'm of a certain generation, and that's okay. But
I think what I'm saying is I was too obsessed at just the science and art side of things of looking at these ads. Like I'm thinking about like, hey, why am I looking at this ad? Oh, because they used first person perspective for that for that ChatGPT Codex ad. Right?
I was 100%. For these Super Bowls, I'm 100% on the vibes. I'm 100%. You spent $7 million to do it, and then whatever the production. I'm like, let me check your vibes out. Let me check your vibes. Our good buddy, we're gonna have him on the show here in a couple weeks. Fingers crossed. Avinash Kaushik actually posted a really great thing today around how actually Super Bowl ads don't move the needle on anything except maybe morale to your employees, etc. He's got some data there.
Signaling. We've been talking about it all week on our LinkedIn.
So
a great virtue signal.
Yeah, exactly. So like the virtue signal to your employees and whatever, and it's, I mean, it might help, but it's got to be part of something. You can't just be like, hey, we're going to put out the Super Bowl ad and then go into the ether, right? So that's a little bit of his point. But anyway, so when I see that, I'm like, okay, I'm here for the vibes. Like I want to know. And that Instacart ad was actually directed by, back to I love the director of the Pepsi one. It was directed by a guy named Spike Jonze, who directed a lot of really interesting stuff in the 2000s. I mean, I'm sure he's been directing, but a lot of things, commercials and movies and things that were influential to me or watch. So I think you're right. Like, I think, and I've been reading about this too. Like, it's this late 90s, early 2000s or mid to 2000s nostalgia period where we and again of a certain age, right? Are so attracted, like whether we know it or not, like the Backstreet Boys thing just came out of nowhere for us, right? But like first, like the Spike Jonze, I was like, this is really cool. All that to be said is it's of a certain time, and it's interesting because we're old, so we're gonna be the older people in the room with the bigger wallets or whatever. So they're trying to connect with us. But the people that are now making the decisions in the rooms are of that generation too, right? So that's I think why you start to see this nostalgia, and then the Sabrina Carpenters of the world or whoever are picking up on that too, and then incorporating that into their vibe. So it's that was a very. So there are a couple of takeaways: AI and everything, tons of celebrities like we saw, tons of throwback music, and then this crazy nostalgia vibe, but from the 90s, like 90s, early 2000s nostalgia vibe. So like those were kind of the common themes, wouldn't you say, of what we saw in the Super Bowl commercials?
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to shine some light on a few interesting examples of B2B advertising that stood out to me. B2B is usually the unsexy cousin of advertising,
And
commercial
throw back to our
advertising.
episode with Tim Glom where he talked about being cool with B2B. So
And
I love it.
Those are the examples that really stood out to me when it came to some nice B2B spots. I'm going to mention two of those. The first one was this Bosch commercial with Guy Fieri. That was so cool.
Let's pause on that for a moment because they did a wonderful job in the upfront, like weeks before the Super Bowl, of showing Guy Fieri in that outfit. And everyone's like, and like literally with the post, like Guy cuts his hair and does all that. And I was like, the heck is this? Like, what are we even looking at?
Where was this? Where did you see this?
Oh, like on social. Like they did a whole bunch of social stuff around, hey, she cut his hair. And now I know it was all just, which is awesome, which by the way, is exactly what you should do. Like don't, back to Avinash's point, like don't make it a one moment thing because that's not going to really move the needle. But if you use it as part of a bigger plan, then maybe it's going to do something. But I thought that was great. I just, if he went from a guy to guy, I just thought,
Yep. Also great fun, great relic from 2000 Stevie again. I think that's the key. And this makes me think about what he said earlier too, Jinx, especially with watching that Coinbase karaoke commercial in a public place. That ad stood out to you and everyone in that space because everyone started singing along, right? Now, where I'm getting at is, it's the most impactful ad, the ad that goes beyond the TV screens, be it the Coinbase ad, which got everyone singing, or be it the Guy Fieri ad, or the Goodwill Gunking ad, which just has so much celebrity nostalgia that it gets people talking.
Well, I think you're right. And I mean, I'll just give you another one to bring it all together for you. Celebrity nostalgia, B2B, ramp. So ramp is like the invoicing platform. They got the guy from The Office, whatever. And that was awesome. And they did a whole bunch of stuff in social. I even saw like he was at the game and he had a bunch of people that looked like him with him to like make it more experiential. Like, again, just we'll see if it works. We'll see how their brands do. Hopefully they don't become a pets.com. That being said, well, they won't because they actually have a product, but that's a different story. But that being said, like the vibes on it were high.
Nostalgia, like you see a face, you've affiliated a face with humor. You see this new brand, it immediately rubs off, and it's good advertising.
That's awesome. Okay, so okay. Well, I think we covered a big swath of it. Again,
3 hours of Super Bowl advertising in 30 minutes.
Exactly. A lot of nostalgia. Let's take the takeaways again. A lot of nostalgia, a lot of celebrity as usual, but a lot of throwback songs, and then a lot of AI, but not in the way we initially thought about it. We thought it was going to be AI production, but it was a lot of AI commercials about AI products, which again seems pretty obvious. Look at where we are, but we in our conversation the other day we didn't think about it. So. Or we didn't mention it at least. Okay, great. So let's do the lightning round, Anish.
All right.
Favorite commercial?
Goodwill Gunking.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Like I think that was that warmed me up for the Coinbase ad. Like that had been looking at the TV, and then the Coinbase ad just closed the loop.
All right.
That's the opening ad that I like.
Well, maybe I was warmed up because I would say I love the Coinbase, and I said why. Right? It broke the fourth wall. It made it like at least the people I was in a room would start singing and be like, even one woman. One woman a couple of minutes later said, "Why am I singing this Backstreet Boys song? Why is it in my head?" And I'm like, "Because it was on the thing." So anyway, so that was mine. But yeah, okay, great. Well, Anish, anything else we want to hit in this field notes episode?
No, I think it was a great Super Bowl advertising consumption experience.
The advertising was better than the game. That's one thing.
100%.
Somebody got married during the halftime show, which I've never seen, so that's cool. Epic.
Yeah.
And again, it was a great moment for advertisers and a lot to learn, a lot to unpack. And, so hopefully if you like this episode, if you like Field Notes, by the way, which we haven't done before, let us know, send us texts, send us LinkedIn messages, subscribe, all that stuff.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Share with your friends.
Share this with your favorite marketer.
There you go. See, I was waiting for Anish to say it. Exactly. Well, this was great. Well, Anish, all right, let's get some rest. We got to get after it tomorrow. It's Monday. We're not celebrating. We got to go to work. So on that note, have a great night. We'll be back with our regular episode this week.
Yeah, very soon. See you guys. Bye.
This is The Art of Commerce, featuring conversations on creativity and conversions. If you found value in today's episode, follow the show, leave a review, and stay tuned for more insights for the minds reshaping modern marketing.